All right, YouTube, today, what are we discussing today? Well, we're going to be going through how to get more nukes in Black Ops 6, how to improve your chances of getting a beautiful nuke. Now, we'll start off with a disclaimer. SBMM, did I say too many M's? I don't know, but it doesn't make it easy. It really doesn't. And even with this tuned skill-based matchmaking, I have found certain times where I am able to get a nuke. Now, what I will say is all my gameplay is legit. You guys always see me live on stream. None of it's through reverse boosted, none of that. And most of the time it's demon lobbies, but sometimes you will get that opportunity. And in that opportunity, you need to take it. You will get that lobby where you're like, oh, I can get a nuke here. It just happens. They come through, they kind of slip through the crack, and you need to make sure during those times you're ready, and I'm going to make sure you're ready. So, how do we do it? Starting off, it's all about the preparation, okay? When you're going for a nuke, you need to get a 30 kill streak in a row without dying. So how do we do this? The first thing is, I think you need a suppressor, okay? Now, this isn't a requirement. You can get a nuke without it, but for me, for myself, when I'm going for a nuke, it is a requirement for me because you want to consistently be off the radar. Every time you're on the radar, you're giving the opponent a chance to trade the kill, in my opinion. If you're going for a kill race, trying to just pub stomp and get as many kills as possible, you're not really caring about streaks, then I can understand the need to not run a suppressor and just run around and, you know, get kills and have people come for, like, towards you for attention in terms of, you know, when you get shot, when you shoot, you're gonna be a red dot, maybe people go for the trade and you may get more gunfights. However, when you're going for a nuclear, this is the opposite. You want little attention. You want to take gunfights one at a time, and you don't want to be seen on the map. And that's why I think suppressor is a must-have, as well as ghost. As a combination, you just do not want to be on the enemy radar. You want to make sure at all times you're able to get out of position, you're able to relax, kind of go back and forward, and just not be seen on the radar. So ghost and suppressor is tip number one. Tip number two, you do never ever want to be the most pushed up on your team, okay? This is something I learned the hard way. I feel like with spawn trapping specifically, I get to a point where I'm in the spawn, I'm doing good, I'm getting 2, getting 3, getting 4, but then there's just too many of them spawning and boom, you get wiped down. You're like, no, I was on such a good streak. And when I realized where I was going more consistent, where I was getting a bit more, I would say, reliable, consistent results, was when somebody was always ahead of me. So I wasn't the first player there. I had a teammate with me, and he was essentially my bait. I'm not gonna lie, that guy, Timmy, was my bait, okay? So why is this a good thing? Because what happens is you essentially have an alarm bell. When he dies, you're out of there. And that way you're able to push up. He may get 4 kills in a row. You might only get 2. Then you might get 1 more. So you're on 3. He gets 5 or 6. Then he dies. Then you get out. And what happens is he gets 6 kills, 1 death. You get 3 kills, 0 deaths. But you can chain this. You can go through now, your teammates there again. Okay, there you go. This time you get 4. So you back away. So now you're on 7 kills without dying, and you just have that barrier of defense. So I feel like too many people try and like push through and get the spawn trap, which is really handy, and I am saying spawn trap's a phenomenal thing, but you don't want to be the only one there and the first in line, because you're just asking to die. Again, this is about when going for nukes. That's the main goal here. We're going for the nukes, so we have to stay alive, okay? Another one is making sure to isolate gunfights. Try to take as many 1v1 gunfights as possible. You don't want to be in a scenario where you see multiple enemies, and while you're shooting one, the other enemies are shooting you. Always try and isolate the fight. So when you're isolating the fights, what happens is you're basically fighting one at a time. So you want to use the cover, take on one fight, reposition, get another kill. And that's another kind of tip and trick, is to reposition after you get the kills, because when you kill them, they're going to spawn up. They are going to go to your last known location, and that is in their head, your surrounding. That's your whereabouts, is that last known location. So if you can play around that, be annoying, get a kill or 2, reposition, it's just going to give you a good balance there, okay? And then we go to score streaks. What score streaks do we want to run? I think UAV, counter UAV harp was my go-to before. Now I'm kind of on the assumption of I'm kind of on the wavelength of running War Machine, just because it really helps. It counts towards the score streak and really helps getting the harp. For me, the non-negotiable is harp, right? Advanced UAV harp, whatever you want to call it, you need that in my opinion. I personally, I really like the, forgot what it is. but it's like fly swat. No, what is it? I forgot what actually my game's here. Nope, it's gone up there. Okay, can't show you from there. Basically, there's a wild card that allows you to have 4 score streaks. I forgot what it is, but I love that one. I personally run like UAV, War Machine, like helicopter, like attack, like a, what's it called? I can't, bro, I'm faded right now. I forgot what helicopter is called. Like your attack helicopter, right? The one that guards you, and then the harp. And for me, just having those 4 is a really nice combination. So you can play around with it, but for me, the non-negotiables are advanced UAV, like harp. I think it's just a must-have. And then from there, you can kind of play around with it. But you want things that kind of contribute to the score. It just makes it nice and easy, you know what I'm saying? Also, in terms of game mode, I personally like domination or hardpoint. I do like kill confirm, maybe in 10v10 because it's a bit more, it's more of a score. But yeah, just kind of playing for the score streak, stuff like that, playing your life, being annoying, isolating. Those overall are things I feel like people don't do enough. Whenever I'm watching someone trying to improve the pubs and they're like, oh, like, can you watch me and see where I'm going wrong? It's like, a lot of the times you're taking on gunfights where multiple enemies are. You know what I'm saying? And you're just giving yourself low chance of surviving. It's not that you're not better than them individually. It's just when you're taking these fights, you're literally playing 1v4. And it's not 1v4 where you're taking 4 gunfights. You're taking 1 gunfight against 4 of them. They're all looking at you and you're just pushing them. I think you have to be smart about it. You really do. And also adapting to the game. Being patient. Like I said, with SBMM, you're going to get really difficult lobbies. And in those, don't worry too much. Sometimes I'm like, I'm going for a nuke. And then I get those lobbies. I'm like, bro, like, I don't think it's possible. It really isn't. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. Let's go in the next one. Then we get a bit of an easier lobby. Then boom, go for it. So really kind of making sure that when you get your opportunity, you are taking it and you are going for it. Another one I will say is, I just thought of it. What was I going to say? Something very, very... Oh, that's it. When you get that harp, when you get that advanced UAV, utilize that score streak. So when you get it up, right? So, okay, I have a 1 minute window, for example. I don't know what the time is, but you have like an X amount of time. Try and play as smart as possible, but try and get aggressive here and get as many kills as possible while your advanced UAV is up. Because once it goes down, you can't get that streak again. It's going to be really, really difficult, okay? So that's my biggest thing is like, I think once the advanced UAV is up, it's just about... make sure your pacing's up to scratch and you're good to go from there. Stims are also a good thing to have so you can kind of, in those scenarios, tight scenarios, boom, get out. And I feel like on every nuke you go for, there's going to be 1 or 2 gunfights where you probably shouldn't win, where you have to win in order to kind of get over that hump. That's one of the things I'll say. I'll say like 25, 26 of the gunfights will be fine. 2 of them will be sketchy, and then 2 of them you probably shouldn't win. You know what I'm saying? That's how it normally goes around that. Obviously, you could have different scenarios, but just as an average, there's always going to be those 2 or 3 gunfights where you probably shouldn't win. You got to play your life finesse, be smart. What I will say is be composed in those areas. When you're weak, just chill. And just think, all right, what is the best play? What play gives me the highest percentage to win? And sometimes you're going to have to make a play. Boom, get out of there, reposition, back away, take a breath, relax, go again. And those are my tips and tricks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys for another video, another tips and tricks video tomorrow. Peace.